do that one more time? Hi guys, welcome back to Uncover Revolution. This is Charlie.
Hello.
She's a model influencer, and we met probably, I don't know, like almost 3 years ago.
A long time ago.
When you first moved to LA.
I was fresh.
Yeah, and we're gonna do her favorite look today, which is, we're gonna focus on the eyes. We're gonna do a shimmery, glowy, kind of beachy eye look.
Yay, can't wait.
So we met like almost 3 years ago.
Yes, that's crazy.
Then how did you get into modeling?
I got into it basically like anybody else. I was like just scouted at a mall in Portland. And
Wait, really?
started, yeah, and so I started modeling out there, and was like booking things like in the Northwest. And obviously it's so much smaller there, so you can book bigger things. Like I was booking Nike and like Nordstrom and Amazon, and you feel really big because you're in a small pond. And so then when I moved here, I obviously booked like nothing, you know, little things, but I mean, everybody is here. All the like girls that have been working for years and years and years with the same brands are here. So it was a lot harder to book big things.
It is competitive.
Yeah, it was really fun, and I learned a lot and I met a lot of cool people, but I kind of figured out that I was a little bit late to the game. And if you're not like overly stunning, it's just hard to stand out, you know?
Well, you are, but I do, like, I get what you're saying though. It is, I mean, I think it is so competitive, and if you are late to the game, it's hard to kind of get noticed and get your kind of foot in the door, especially in LA.
I just book through Instagram now instead of through like an agency because I'll get paid more and it's like kind of more on my terms. So that's fun.
And it's nice to have like more control over the situation, I think,
I
right?
have like total control over it now, which is awesome.
So, and I think that's like a misunderstood kind of idea of like kind of getting into the influencer world and then not being like looked at in the same way as other models who have like the more traditional sense of, you know, agents and going kind of through that way.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So explain that a little bit.
Well, honestly, I was kind of embarrassed to admit that I didn't have an agent and that I wasn't booking like a real model, because it feels different. It feels like, oh, I didn't make the cut. Like I'm like a fake internet person who's like trying to model on her own. And so it was kind of embarrassing for a little while, and I wouldn't admit it, and that's why I didn't really do anything with my Instagram for a long time. And then when it started to become a thing and other girls were like really doing it like the influencer type thing, it became evident that like we feel more like entrepreneurs, I guess.
I love that.
Whereas you're not just trying to be a model and you're not just trying to influence other girls. You're like actually interested in all this stuff. It's like cultivating all of your creativity and making it into one job. So it's definitely hard, like, and I don't make, you know, a lot of money every month. It definitely
no one does out here. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, like,
in makeup and all of it. It's just it's an unstable, you know, job industry. But you don't do it for the money. But I've learned that you do it because you love it, and the money comes with it as you go.
Yeah, it's hard too because so many people do it, and it's hard not to compare yourself, and that's something like I have to work on every day. Like when I'm scrolling through Instagram and I'm just like sucked into this girl's so pretty and this girl's like so fit and this girl's so like motivated, and
but you are too.
It's hard to compare.
You inspire me.
Oh,
that's like why I love working with you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Yeah.
So when you do go down kind of the rabbit hole of like stalking other, you know, people in the industry, and you're comparing yourself to everybody, how do you kind of pull yourself out of that, and like what's your kind of like mind process? And
I feel like I get depressed, honestly, or not depressed, but you get bummed out. Like after you scroll through so many like beautifully perfect people, at some point you're just like laying in bed, and for me it's like eating like chips and laying in bed in like a bralette, and I'm like, oh, I need to go to the gym, I need to do something, and I really just spent like 4 hours looking at pretty people online. And I have to like,
been guilty of that.
It's horrible. And so then it'll just have to be a switch in my head that's like, okay, you need to stop. And I'll have to like physically put my phone away and focus on something else. And it's so funny because within like 5 minutes of putting my phone away, you totally forget about why you cared about Instagram in the first place. Because it's easy to get sucked into, but it's also really easy to step out of.
Yeah, I feel like it's good to just remind yourself that also what you're seeing isn't necessarily the reality of these people's lives, and all of us are guilty of that also, of putting maybe our the best parts of our lives forward, and you know, people don't see the messy
100%.
stuff, and so I think when you get sucked in and you know, you start to only think about like how their lives might be better than yours or prettier or whatever, or like
how you're not leveling up.
Yes, exactly.
Being at their same standards.
Exactly. You have to remind yourself that we all feel that way. It's honestly, I feel like it's not about your success, it's about the failures that you've gone through, because I think that's what builds character and what shapes you as a person, and also what builds compassion and empathy towards one another.
Oh yeah.
And I think we have to remember that like we're not competing, we're in this together.
Yeah.
Especially women.
Yeah.
Gotta stick together.
I know.
Yeah. So, since we're on YouTube, and talking about this, if a young girl were to come across, you know, your page and see this, or your Instagram, what advice would you have for them if they're seeing you and, you know, they're maybe feeling down about themselves?
Kind of what we said before, Instagram's not reality, and you just have to know that. You just have to know that there's so many other things that are involved, and just because someone looks a certain way on the internet does not mean that they feel the way that you should feel in real life. And I think that's something that I wish I would have known as like a young girl, is that you really just have to embrace what you look like and who you are, and that you are beautiful no matter like how you look. And I know that's really like cliche to say, especially since, you know, I hate things about myself, like, oh, there's no way that my nose can be beautiful, or there's no way that like small boobs can be beautiful. But you have to just embrace it and live with it, and you know, once you have that confidence, it comes out of you, and it makes it, you know, it makes you gorgeous. And so I feel like that's something that I would tell younger girls. Yeah, it really honestly is from within, even though that's super cliche. So you are a makeup artist, and you do gorgeous makeup on so many models and people. What would you say to young girls and boys who are trying to be the next big like makeup artist?
I mean, I think that my advice to young girls who want to get into, you know, the makeup world would be, you know, even though there are so many, it's easy to kind of go on YouTube and to be self-taught. Close for me, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think it's amazing that, you know, you can get so much inspiration from people at your fingertips nowadays. But I do also think that it's important to kind of like go back to, you know, the history of makeup and the root of everything, and also like learn and get your own style, because I think something that social media has kind of created is this world that like everything is kind of the same now. We're all just trying to be like each other, and it's important to, you know, find your own place in that makeup world or anything that you decide to do. And for me, like, I went to school, and I'm not saying that you have to go to school. I think that it's a wonderful way to break into the industry and actually learn, you know, more than just technique, but hygiene and also the business of it. And that's how I think you're going to be successful, is, you know, learning that professional world, because it's so much more than just doing makeup on, you know, your own face. It's learning about, you know, everybody else's amazing bone structure and figuring out how to like create an art. But yeah, and also this conversation today was so special to me because we got to learn about her, and that's like why I started this, and actually why I got into makeup, because makeup is such a special way to like learn about other people and to get intimate and to connect. And it's more than just makeup and feeling pretty, even though that's so fun, but it's also about getting to know the person that you're doing the makeup on. This is the finished look. She's so beautiful, and beautiful inside and out, which
Aww.
is like, so we did just a nice natural glowy kind of beach eye. So I know we got all deep, but it was also really fun, and I hope that you guys liked it. So make sure you do like and subscribe and comment below, and can't wait for the next one. Yay! Bye.
Bye.
Now I gotta keep it